Hi there. My name is Brennan Ullman. I have been taking the Trent ABQ, First Nation, Métis, and Inuit Studies, Indigenous education for the better part of about 10 weeks now, since the end of January. And I've been saying all along that I wanted to do some kind of video, some kind of something more outside the box, something more interactive. And I unfortunately have had a very, very busy past few months, like we all have. My career, my job, my position here as a grade 7 teacher and a music instrumental teacher has taken on a lot of different, I'm wearing a lot of hats right now within the school, trying to support the band, and unfortunately it has got the best of me. And it's just been a busy winter all around. So I do apologize for that in advance. I wish that I could have been more on the ball with respect to my submissions, and of course, my overall effort throughout the course, discussion boards, and just trying to take things to the next level. I have taken away a lot from this course. I feel like both of the required initial texts that I looked at in January that I rented from the library and I have to return have been extremely enlightening. And in a lot of cases, kind of some of my feedback would be that I wish we leaned on those texts more as far as being compulsory week to week with modules and tasks. I know there was a couple submissions that required you to reference text or to dive into the text, but between trying to finish those two texts and actually read through those stories because I felt they were extremely valuable, and I was actually very engaged, and I'm usually not when it comes to literature and academic resources. Those texts, for obvious reasons, pull you in. And I just wish I was able to refer to them more as opposed to looking at other external resources. Not to say they're not valuable as well, but I do feel like I got away quite a bit from kind of understanding perspectives more through the Braiding Histories texts. And I think one thing I just wanted to really emphasize in this final one-pager or in this selfie video is my confidence, my comfortability, and my preparation to teach intermediate students, grade 7 all the way through to grade 12, and in fact teach some kind of Indigenous history course, First Nation, Métis, and Inuit Studies throughout the grade 9 level, 10 level, and hopefully into the college and university level, grade 11s and 12s also. I do feel prepared. I feel certainly ready to take that next step. I am in a high school setting currently. I'm in a 7 to 12 model, so I work with high school students all day. I have grade 11s and 12s in my senior band, and I understand so much of what they want, specifically my grade 7s also. They want connection and relevance to their life. And if you can marry that with stories of the past, understanding First Nation perspectives and what has happened to Indigenous and Aboriginal populations throughout North America, I feel that's kind of the ticket to hopefully engaging your students, but also resonating with them, leaving them with like a really something heavily some heavy impact on them, thinking twice about how are we operating politically, how are we operating within society, province-wide, country-wide, what is happening and what could be better. And I think so much of the understanding that has to happen in the intermediate level is that connection to their everyday life. And if you can connect more to what they experience, if you can connect more with a relationship to a story or to something out of pop culture, something out of a video game, something out of their life of social media and entertainment, and you can bring some kind of relevance to how would someone who is indigenous to these concepts, how would they be brought in? Someone who is someone who maybe created these concepts, a foundation, someone who is here long before the reality of what we understand these things to be. What was it like to play a game years ago? What would have a video game maybe been substituted for if we rewind the clock hundreds of years, thousands of years? And then that can kind of lead us into the reality of how we cared for one another, how we actually were socially and collaborative with one another. And